What's going on, guys? My name is Guinea, aka the Pick Hero, and I know what you're thinking. 26-10 is, it's a good kills versus deaths in a game of domination. And you might be thinking, 10 deaths, you could have done better, and I'm sure I could. However, that's the whole reason to be making this video is because of this gameplay and pretty much how this whole thing played out. And it was very strange, and there's a couple of there's a lot of frustrating moments, and you can see that guy right there, PRX. Okay, so this was a server that Wig invited me to play, so we went to go in there and fuck shit up and eat lollipops, because that's what we do on the side. Instead of when we're not playing Battlefield, we're kicking ass and eating lollipops. So that's always something to look for, look for. And it's actually the Tootsie Roll Pops. You guys I talked about the Tootsie Roll in the center, because I don't prefer gum in my lollipop. So as for the gameplay, I'm using the FAMAS, and it is a wonderful, and those guys had no idea that the G18 was so good. And unfortunately, Ace of Spades just kind of sitting there. None I can really do in that part. So I do die quite a few times. Only 10 times. I don't think that's so bad. Especially because it's this game. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why there's a lot of people upset about this game. This game is not a test of how good your KDR is. It's a test of how your team is, and if you guys can control the objectives and take everything. Now, PRX or PDX? I think it's PRX. Either way, they were extremely good at going to each and every objective and taking it over and then just running to the next one. So they did extremely well in that sense. However, their skill in terms of gunplay, were lacking. And I think if they had both of those things, this game would have been over right about now. So I'm using the FAMAS, 1,000 rounds a minute. It's a god gun, and I do love this gun very much, even though it has the extreme recoil. If you can control that, which you can, I mean, it's pretty simple to control that. It's not hard at all, as Bilbo Swaggins. Now I remember him in Battlefield 3, so it's nice to see. Yeah, I think I see that more often than not, as I recognize the gamer tag that was in the last game. And I don't know why that guy's flopping around all over the place, but the FAMAS is extremely good, especially right there. Okay, that sort of instance where he's like medium to extremely short range, you're not going to win that fight against the FAMAS. I don't care what gun you use. That is the ultimate, and that was just a bad spawn by me. Just not a smart move on my part. But we played these guys before, and the last round it was on. I think it was. I don't remember the exact map. It's on my hard drive somewhere, but it was pretty much them running around to each flag and just capping it before we even had a chance, and they were very good at doing that. And their kill death ratio, you can see it right now, their kill death ratios weren't as great, but we were on Siege of Shanghai, I remember now, and we were getting doused, man. I went like 20, it was like 29-6, kill death ratio wise, that would have been the game to show. However, there are some other implications in this gameplay that made me want to show this one. But it's pretty much they just had bodies. Okay, that's what it was. That's what it came down to. They had people who were able to play the objective and really do it exceptionally well with that. And when they ran in packs and they were reviving each other, I'm sure they're all on the TeamSpeak, which is even a bigger, boost when it comes to how effective they are. and it really showed in this gameplay because it was me, Wig, special guest Panic Attack, who, you know, actually had very good gunplay, and they were very good at it as well. You know, that was pretty much the only way. I like to say that we really made this team, and you can see that we're both, you know, I don't have his perspective, but I know him and I were both running to each objective, trying to take as much as we can. You know, I'm here camping C a little bit because we only have one, you know, like in this instance where we would only have one flag. You know, I don't want to give this flag up to get dominated, so that could be the worst thing that happens to us. So I'm just kind of camping this flag. I can see we're starting to flash the other things, and I'm just gonna stay here for a little bit. So, in my team right now, the Eagles are winning, and I'm probably gonna regret this because if they lose and I have this recorded, it's there forever. So, it's just gonna be goofy. We'll find out. But, and then there was some salt in this game, and some of it was thrown by Big Wig. He was, or I don't want to give away his new moniker because it's so goofy, and I came up with it. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put this on record, Wig, right now, that I came up with your name. Whether you use it or not, you know, I'm still gonna have it, you know. But that's an inside joke, but it's really funny. But the salt was thrown because they were really good at what they were doing, and Wig was getting extremely upset. And you can see even in the chat there's just a lot of back and forth about, you know, stacking teams and all that, and eventually, you know, you can see the game too, it was extremely close. You know, both these rounds go, you know, down to this round went down to the wire, and it was a crazy game, you know. And it's one of those things where you're just gonna have to deal with it. As this guy gets G18 in the back, and of course I run out of ammo. You know, anytime I go on a nice kill streak, I always run out of ammo. I didn't care for that guy's gun choice anyway. So I'm 21-6. So I have 4 more deaths to go, 5 more kills to go. So you can tell that it didn't really end well for me. You know, but so. Siege is saying hi. They're on the rooftop, you know, and then I really questioned what our team was doing the entire time, you know. Like, I see a lot of guys around that point, but I'm guessing they're all up on top, and that's very frustrating, and that's not something that I want on my team, because it doesn't help us gather any points or anything like that when we're taking flags. And also, apparently, I have a little instance of like Olympicness. Like I jump over this guy, and it is like, it's so goofy. I don't know why I get so high over him, and I think it's coming up right here actually. So he comes around the corner and whoop! I did the hurdle and I jumped over him, and it was very funny to me that I was able to do that. And this is one, you know, when we were chatting and you know, trying to figure out what we can do, this was like the entire time it was sort of miserable. And it was miserable in a sense that, you know, every time we went to go take a flag, they would grab it faster than we could. They would do pretty much everything in their power to destroy us, and they're just very good at it. As I get grenaded here, probably should not have peeked that. It's PRX, and this guy right here, he was the one chatting the most, but it's just how it is, man. You know, some games you're having a lot of fun, and you know, you're winning, and you know, everything you do is the best idea ever. And then there are some times where it's just like you dread having to kill somebody, or not having to kill somebody, but you dread playing these games because you know that the other team is extremely good, and you're probably not gonna last or do as well as you were going to do. And I don't know why I didn't revive Wig, you know, but I guess Oh, I guess his name is technically shown here. So if you see it, yeah, I guess just what it is. But eventually, something happens to me, and it threw me off, and you see it right there. I just got switched. Now, it wasn't that they switched me because, like, they claimed it was auto balance, right? And usually, if I'm not mistaken, the auto balance always works that they take the last joiner and they switch them to the other team. However, you know, we were in this game for quite some time. The guy was nice enough to switch me back, okay, but it got Wig mad even more. And his theory is, okay, the theory is because you took the best player on our team and you switched him to your team to give you an edge. Like, that's how he said it. And in a way, I was doing pretty damn well in this game. You know, capturing points and doing all that stuff. So I was doing well in that sense. So I can see why they would think, like, I can see why they would switch me. But if it's an auto balance, you know, it's that was the whole argument. It was just a lot of drama and chaos and just a lot of just stupid things. So, you know, while I did well in this game and it was interesting, at least enough for me to post it, you know, it was very frustrating as I get this guy hiding through the flag, and it's not a very good spot to hide. So I hope you guys enjoy this gameplay. Watch me hurling people in the FAMAS. If you haven't tried it out, give it a try. It's extremely helpful in medium to small ranges like that, and for domination, it's perfect. It is perfect. You can handle the recoil. I'll probably make another video describing like what accessories I would put on there once I unlock more, and give you like an overall review of the gun and how I feel about it. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this long commentary, and I hope you guys have a fantastic Sunday. Or wait, yeah, today's Sunday. Take it easy. Peace.